All righty, well, let's get started. I got to close out a couple windows here so I can see what. So I've got Sanchita from JER HR Group on as my producer, and she's going to watch the chat box for me. So feel free to type in any questions or unmute yourself and ask a question. So that's why we've allowed you to talk. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to talk about DiSCover, a new way to engage and connect your team. And my name is Dana Miller. I'm a marketing specialist with JER HR Group. And previously, I was with Inspiring Solutions until the end of November when we joined JER HR Group. I'm certified in Everything DISC Workplace and have been working with Everything DISC for the last 5 years. Okay, so with Inspiring Solutions, we've been doing these Free Friday webinars for about 10 years now. And the reason we do them is because we want to deliver some tips on timely topics, because there's a lot going on in the world, and expose you to our services, tools, and products. We do have a lot to offer as JER HR Group. We offer executive and staff compensation analysis, leadership development, HR consulting and technology, talent management, assessment tools, and human capital management solutions. So the handouts that you should have for today, and you should have received them in the email that you received this morning. So there's the Everything DISC Workplace on Catalyst brochure, the Everything DISC Workplace Catalyst sample profile, which you can refer to it as we go through the platform, and then our upcoming webinar flyer schedule. And when you end the Zoom meeting, there will be a tab that you can click on and complete the evaluation, and we greatly appreciate it if you would do that. I appreciate your feedback, and it also allows us to determine additional topics that you may be interested in learning in the future. So today I'm going to talk about what is needed to create an engaged culture, introduce you to a new Wiley learning platform, and demonstrate how to use the platform to connect with others and make your work environment and culture more effective. Okay, oh, I didn't practice my poll. Let's see, so I need to start my poll, launch. There we go. So the question is, what's the hardest part about working on a virtual team? So if you guys can take a couple seconds and just complete the poll, and we can talk about it afterwards, or just give you some time to get it done. All right.
Dina, it's saying that hosts and panelists cannot vote.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, looks like we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have 100%. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and share it. So communication and collaboration can be difficult. So 50% of the people that said that, and then one person for each of the other topics: lack of social time, working more hours when at home, feeling isolated, and other. I'd be interested to know what the other is. So based upon a survey that Wiley did for 3,000 businesses, the top concerns were feeling isolated, challenges of working from home, and lack of communication between coworkers. So based upon the information that they gathered, okay, so it's no secret engaged employees are more productive, which improves the overall success of an organization. So how do you cultivate an engaged and collaborative culture when everybody's working separately from their own virtual bubble? So based upon a 2020 survey that Wiley did to 3,000 business professionals, 98% agree that culture impacts the success of the organization, and 99% agree that culture can be improved. So that I was surprised to see that 99% of businesses thought that their culture can be improved. So what's the biggest influence on culture? The survey found that employees and people have the greatest influence. So in order to have an engaged culture, organizations need people who are engaged, collaborative, and adaptive. So how do we create this type of culture? What skills do people need to have? So the survey also showed that social and emotional skills, or soft skills, are critical to a high-performing culture. Actually, 41% said social and emotional skills are even more important now than before the pandemic. So how do we create the human connections necessary to foster an engaged, collaborative, and adaptive culture? I know a lot of people have said as well, they miss the water cooler chats, or just bopping into somebody's office to have, find out what they're doing for the weekend or how was their weekend. So that's the connection that we're missing. So Wiley decided to do something about that, and they realized that culture needed to be improved and people needed to reconnect. So I'd like to introduce to you the Everything Disc on Catalyst. And that is a personal development learning experience that equips people with the social and emotional know-how for more effective interactions at work, no matter who or where they are. So the nice thing about this platform is you can bring it up anywhere. It's mobile friendly and can be seen and looked at anywhere. So using a personalized, centered learning approach, Everything Disc on Catalyst helps people better understand themselves, appreciate and value differences in perspective and approach of others, readily adapt to the unique needs of each person or situation they encounter, and they can do it on a consistent basis. So this information that is available in Catalyst is very consistent and effective. So we're going to start to explore the platform. So we're going to take a look at a demo of the platform, and we're going to be following Mateo. So each person that's going to complete the Everything Disc on Catalyst workplace will receive an email link to create their own account. And once they have their account set up, you'll begin taking the assessment. And the assessment consists of statements about yourself that you can answer based upon a 5-point scale: strongly disagree or strongly agree. And the assessments that Everything Disc use, they've done a lot of research, and the assessments use adaptive testing, which means how you answered a question may determine another question. And these have been validated, and the results are 90% have a 90% accuracy rating. And then after you complete the assessment, your profile is immediately available for you to view on your computer, or you can also print out the report. Okay, so here's another trick. I'm going to get out of this and go to the actual profile. And I didn't get logged out of here. This is the login screen. So you enter your email and password. And here's Mateo. Mateo has an SC style. So it just gives a brief description of what it is. And we can go, Mateo can take a look at more about his style. What does SC mean? So this shows the graph, the D, I, S, and C, and what those mean. And you can see he falls in between, more on the S and just a little bit on the C. And if you want to learn more about the DISC model, let's say you're new to DISC, you've never seen this before, you have no idea what D, I, S, and C mean, you can go to learn more You can learn more about the model, the 2 dimensions of it. So we ask people to figure out, which quadrant they may be in. First of all, are they active or reflective? And so then they can identify the top half or the bottom half. And then are they skeptical or accepting? So then you can decide on which side of the line that you can put your own dot or see yourself. And then these are descriptions of the 4 styles. And then if you want to go more, you can take a look at the additional 12 styles, the DISC research, and the DISC theory. So we're going to go back to the home page. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that you can personalize this. You click on the 3 lines to the right. This is the menu that you can take a look at. This has Agile EQ, but we're not going to look at that today. And this is where you can download your reports. Since this is a demo, it doesn't allow you to set up your account, but there usually is another line here where it says account setup or account settings. Go back. And actually, this is it's kind of fun just to move around in this and see there's some fun things in it that we'll take a look at. So this is a picture of his map. So if you're following along in the profile, everything that's in the profile is on here on this platform, but the platform goes deeper. So then this is the story. It goes into more detail about the SC style and Mateo. And when people have the paper profile, when we facilitate the live session and people have the paper in front of them, we'll ask them to go through it and mark whether they agree with the statements in here, so they can put a star or highlight it, or if they question something, they can put a question mark, or if they don't agree with it, they can X through it. So they can really personalize this and make it their own. And I mean, for the most part, this is very accurate, but there's some statements that people don't necessarily always agree with. A couple things to remember. These are the cornerstone principles of every DISC. And it's just a reminder that all DISC styles and priorities are equally valuable, and everyone is a blend of all 4 styles. And your work style is also influenced by other factors, such as life experiences, education, and maturity. And sometimes, most often, your dot will not move much. But if you took it 10 years ago and you've had a lot of different life experiences, or things have changed with work, your dot may move just a little bit, but your basic 3 priorities will stay the same. And then there's a podcast that you can download. So there's a real narrative of what the SC style is. So Dr. Mark Scullard with Wiley narrates this podcast. And then there's another area where you can go to, you can go here, or you can go back to, let's see, go back to your home. Are there any questions as we're going through here yet? Okay, so we're going to take a look at the workplace profile and what drives Mateo. So the first part of it, we've learned about DISC. We understand what the map is. We understand now what DISC it means. So now we're getting more personal into what drives an SC style. So these are Mateo's priorities: accuracy, stability, and support. Again, you can see he's a blend of all 4 styles. And there are times when you can have a fourth priority. And in this instance, Mateo has action as a fourth style. So that means that it's easy for him, or doesn't take as much effort for him to stretch towards the action priority.
Dana, Liana has
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
She wants to know when you say you can download reports, is that just your reports, or can you view your co-workers or managees' reports? How does that work?
It's just going to be your report. And we'll get to where you can see your coworkers, but the download reports are just going to be your reports. Good question. All right. So this area goes into defining what the priorities mean. So maintaining stability. He's most comfortable in a calm, predictable setting. Giving support. He tends to be calm and considerate, ensuring accuracy. He tends to be careful and methodical. He doesn't like sloppy, subpar work. And then taking action. Places a high value on swift, immediate progress. So what motivates and stresses Mateo? So when I look at this for myself, I'm an IIS. And I take a look at what motivates me. It's like, really hits home. And sometimes I see things on here that maybe I don't recognize or don't think of consciously, but then when I see it here, it's like, oh yeah, that's true. Like that does motivate me. And yeah, sometimes having to argue for your point of view can stress me out. But and that's kind of an IIS stressor. And strategies. So what strategies can Mateo do to be more effective at work? He can show more willingness to work as part of a team. So there's a little paragraph narrative and 2 bullet points with tips on what he can do. Recognize the value of networking. Again, a couple tips as to what he can do. Consider how networking with others might lead to improved results for a project and stronger connections for you. And he needs to learn how to be firm and stand his ground. Usually people with an SC style are just, they, like I said, they don't like conflict. They just kind of stay back in the background. So a couple tips, he should remind himself that because others are confident doesn't mean that their ideas are better than yours. And again, towards the bottom, more areas to explore. So the next part is we're going to go and look. So we've learned about what the DISC map means, what the D, I, S, and C mean. We've learned about Mateo and what motivates him, what stresses him, and how he can work more effectively. So now we're going to take a look at Mateo and other styles and people that he works with. Okay. So this will go through each of the styles, the D, I, S, and C. So this talks about Mateo and the D style. So D to him may seem forceful, blunt, demanding, rash, like, oh boy, I'm not sure I want to work with that type of person, but you know, you need to have every type of style in a group or in a project, working on the same project. All right, and what motivates the D style? Results. So it gives a description of results, action, and Mateo has the same thing, action and challenge. This is a neat addition that they've put in here. They're little video clips, and it's that style of a person answering these questions. So for example, if D styles could be any animal, what would they choose? So hopefully you can hear this and get a chuckle out of it.
This is no joke. I would like to be a predator bird. I just think they're magnificent. I think they've ruled the sky.
I'd be a koala. I would definitely be a koala. Because, and here's why, because koalas really, I mean, they take care of their own, and they're seemingly welcome. They can, ascend any tree, but also if they have to, I mean, they got claws that could take a Wolverine out, but they don't. They're not like naturally aggressive, creatures. They're there if they need them. So I'd be a koala.
Did you guys hear that okay and see it? I've heard people just get a kick out of these.
Yes,
So what was that, Michelle?
we're asking, it was a delayed answer to your question that, yes, we did hear it. It was a funny thought on each style.
Okay, thank you. All right, so here are people that you may work with that are also in the D region. So you can click on them and learn more about them. Stephanie, she's in sales. She's motivated by innovative results, independent thinking, creative problem solving. And later we're going to take a look at Marge Davies. But you can take a look at, so these are everybody that's in the D region that you may want to get to know better. You can also take a deeper dive into building better relationships with Ds. So here's the I. People with the I style may seem talkative, energetic, scattered, or emotional. So here you can see what motivates an I style. And we'll try one more video here. Let's see. Why I styles love being part of a team. Okay.
I really like people who will like throw something in there because it really gets the energy going, and then you get going back and forth.
When there's energy bouncing back and forth between all the members, and you feel respected and listened to and valued as part of the team, there's nothing like it.
And you have the opportunity to really build something that feels fun, and then it's not just so much like work.
Okay. So same thing with I. You can see who you work with that are in the I region. Okay. So here's all of the different styles. And so you can take a look at the videos and just dig a little bit deeper into the different styles. So next we're going to take a look at your colleague, building better relationships. Any comments or questions?
Dana, I don't know if it's on just my end, but the crispness of the screen is not good on.
Yeah, same with me.
I don't know what to do about that.
Got better, so it's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's better now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So can you still see my screen?
Yep, we see
Okay.
everything this page.
Okay. So build better relationships. So Mateo wants to understand how he can work more effectively with the D style. So I'll go through a little narrative here and then 3 bullet points with tips. Talk to them about the big picture and the bottom line rather than getting caught up in the details. When problems need to be solved, same thing. When things get tense, some tips. And then again, these are the people that are in the D region that he works with. So that goes, so we'll, each style has the same thing. So next, we're going to take a look at let's take a look at everybody. So here are all the people at KRT Industries that Mateo works with. So if he's got a project coming up and he's going to be working with Marge Davies. Let's take a look at what she is like as a DC. Okay. So Marge has a DC style. You might have noticed that Marge tends to take no-nonsense approach, prioritizing efficient results and quality work at the same time. And Marge probably doesn't hesitate to challenge inefficient methods or question assumptions. That's pretty typical of someone with a DC style. So what Marge cares about, when to pull Marge in, Marge may be stressed to buy, following an inefficient process, having their competence questions, and not being able to consider creative solutions. Here's a comparison of their maps. So you can see Marge is on the DC line, and you can see where Mateo is. And Marge's dot is kind of in the middle of the outside of the circle and the center. So, you know, she can stretch a little bit easier towards the other styles. And here are some similarities between Mateo and Marge. They both look for compromises, prefer a more moderate pace, are tactful, tend to be accommodating, and sometimes wait before sharing opinions. And the differences between them, Mateo tends not to challenge people and Marge does. That's the D in her. Mateo dislikes having to be aggressive and Marge pushes back when pushed. So you can see some of the differences here. And then here you can compare their tendencies on a continuum. So this is, I think this is pretty cool to see this type of comparison. You know, there's not a whole lot of difference between them here. They're right in the middle of accommodating and strong-willed. They're both fairly private. They both are close on focusing on logic. Mateo is a little bit more tactful than Marge. And Marge is very unstructured, where Mateo is a little bit more structured. And if you click on the details here, gives you more information. So Mateo's tendencies likes to follow clear plans, seeks closure, and tends to see decisions as final. Where Marge tendencies prefers playing things by ear, would rather improvise than follow a plan, and likes to keep options open. So you can see where they would differ when working on a project and understand why they may be different. Here they are complete opposites. Mateo focused on realities where Marge focuses on possibilities. Okay. This is another very powerful part of the Catalyst platform, working together. So this is more comparisons. When things get tense, remember you're somewhat tactful and Marge is somewhat tactful. You're somewhat accommodating and Marge is somewhat accommodating. So they're similar there. And so here are the benefits and the roadblocks. You both probably avoid bringing up difficult issues, which may allow tension or misunderstandings to build slowly. And you may both be tempted to downplay your own perspective to avoid making things tense. So, and here are some tips. Encourage Marge to be more candid with you if you believe something is being withheld, and practice being more straightforward about your own needs. Here's connecting. When you're trying to connect with Marge, the benefits, roadblocks, tips, collaboration. What if you and Marge are working on a project together? The benefits that her style would bring, and some of the roadblocks, and then getting buy-in on a project. And it will give you ideas, tips on how to get buy-in from her. So again, you can take a deeper look into the DISC theory and model. But that's, as Mateo, that's what Mateo can take a look at and learn how to work better and more effectively with his coworkers. Okay, now I'm going to perform another trick here. I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, oops. Okay, so one of the benefits, and this is for facilitators, they're going to appreciate the fact that there's different modules. Each module is self-contained. And the Catalyst was developed as a new platform to avoid the once and done learning. As a facilitator in an organization, if you've experienced and facilitated an everything DISC workplace session before, a lot of people will take their profile, put it in the drawer, and not look at it again. And we're trying to avoid that and get people more involved, to get them more connected. And that's what this Catalyst platform can do. And the learners can create their own self-guided experience. So as you can see, you can go in and take a look at any of, do more research on your DISC style, take a look at your colleagues. There's different things, areas that you can do just on your own. So why Workplace on Catalyst now? It provides a fun break. People are feeling isolated, and it's a new way to engage remote workers. You've seen virtual facilitation, and with communication, like you guys said, communication and collaboration is one of the toughest things about working virtually. So it allows you to experience a deeper understanding and newfound appreciation of your colleagues. So if you want to experience everything DISC on Catalyst, there's a couple options that you can do. Option one, if you have already completed an everything DISC or DISC Classic assessment, there is no cost through December 31st of this year. If it's been a while, and you also must have get it from your administrator that administrated your first everything DISC assessment. And I know it's a little confusing, but I will be happy to answer questions on how you can do that. If you've done it with either JER or through Inspiring Solutions, contact me and I can get you the everything DISC on Catalyst for you to complete. Option two is pricing. These prices are from our website. The Everything DISC Workplace is $72 or 15 credits if you have an Epic account. So some people do have Epic accounts where they can customize their own profiles and the report title pages. And the Everything DISC Agile EQ is 120 or 25 Epic credits. So Workplace and Agile EQ are the only two assessments available on Catalyst right now, but they are working on management. I think is going to be the next one that they put on Catalyst. If you have any questions, please stay on afterwards. We'll open it up. Actually, we've opened it up so you guys can talk now, but stay on afterwards and we can answer more questions. In your handout, you received the webinar schedule. So we have these every third Friday of the month. You can register online like you did. Please invite others to watch. Make it fun. Get the popcorn going or coffee since it's early in the morning, get the donuts. And our next webinar is going to be September 17th. And our senior consultant, Renee Martin, is going to talk about compensation plan design. And October 15th, Michelle is going to talk about 3 simple strategies to lead your team. November 19th, we're excited to have Matt Cross with Training Network. He's going to demonstrate some of our new human capital management solutions. And the webinars are 9:30 Central and 10:30 Eastern. Again, once you close out of this, please take a minute and complete the evaluation. That is a tab that you'll see open up. It's called a Jot Form tab that will open up at the top of your browser. So I want to thank you. Please, again, let's get some chatter going, find out. I'd like to hear what you guys thought about the platform. You know, is there something you think you might use, or if you have questions about it, or stay on and we can talk. But thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time this morning, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next month.